This is my last order to CGC. Stay tuned to find out why. Welcome back, comic book fans. It's Rusty again from Collector Auctions, and in today's episode, we're going to find out why this is my very last order to CGC. But before we begin, and before I open this box, definitely hit that like button, slap the subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you don't miss out on great content like this each and every week, Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Okay, guys. We're going to unbox this order that I just got back from CGC. We're going to find out what books I've got in here, and we're going to find out why this was my last order to CGC. Alright, so here is the box that has two books in it that I just got back from CGC. I had sent these two books in to a signature signing event held by CGC over this last fall. The books have been in there for a little while, but I just got it back. I don't really have a time frame because I definitely had sent these books out well in advance. So I really wasn't worried about when they came back or anything. But they came back, and we're going to open it up. We're going to find out what grades that I got. And I'll explain the whole process about why I sent these two particular books in. So let's get the knife. Got it right here. Ooh, it's ready to go. That's not good. And we'll cut into it, and we will show you the books, and I will talk about why this was the last order to CGC. Alright, that was a lot easier than some of the Heritage Auction orders. That was all taped up. This was bubble wrapped, but it wasn't taped. It was in a nice literature size box, and it was pretty sturdy. Here are the two books. You can see them in there. They're sandwiched between the two pieces of cardboard and the ever-protective rubber band. Let's take a look. Now, let me make sure that I cannot see the grades. So, before I do the reveal, these two books I sent in to have James Tynion IV sign. Now, these are books that he wrote, but they weren't just raw books. I had sent these in previously to the Art Germ signing earlier or late this summer, early fall, and I had gotten Art Germ to sign them. And I got 9.8s on both of them. So when they had announced another James Tynion signing, and I think he actually had a lot of his artists that he's worked out with on different books at this signing again, I had already participated in this earlier in the year, and I'd gotten books by Deladera, by the artist from what is it? Department of Truth. Sorry, blanked for a second there. I'd gotten from the artist from Nice House on the Lake, but Art Germ was not part of that group. And I wanted to get this particular book signed, these books signed, because Art Germ had done the covers to this book here, these books, and I really wanted to get James Tynion on them as well. It was a book meaningful to me, and I'll talk about the book as soon as I do the reveal and I show you the books. I'll explain why. But I'm hoping we keep those 9.8s. These are modern books, very new books, really. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. We've had good luck sending books back into CGC that they've had to break open, get the artist signed, regrade, and reslab all over again. And that's what we did here. Just like the last video where I sent in, what was funny was the book that came in the last video was the Something's Killing Children #1 that I got sent in for the Jenny Frison signing. That book was from the other signing from James Tynion and Deladera, and I guess if I remember the date, it's actually been probably over a year since that book was signed. So when they did another signing with Tynion this fall, I'd already gotten some of the things I wanted already to sign, but I didn't send in this particular book because I didn't think I was going to be able to get Art Germ on them as well. And well, lo and behold, they had Art Germ, and thankfully they had another James Tynion signing. So I sent these two books in for Tynion to sign. And let's just get into the books, and I'll continue with the rest of the story, and I'll tell you why this is the very last CGC order. There's a story to that as well. So here we go. Let's unwrap. Let's do it. You can see it right there. Let's see, guys. Can you see a little bit of the back cover there? Do you know what book this is? I've already given a lot of clues. It's James Tynion with Art Germ. I'm not sure how many combinations of books are with those pairs out there, but this one meant something to me. And here it is right here. It is Batman number 92. It is the, I believe this is the alternate cover to issue 92. The cardstock cover of Punchline is her first real cover appearance. The regular issue has her very small, but this one is very front and center. And what was special about this book was I bought my very first 9.8 book, actually my very first graded book, was this book right here. And this is one of those covers that I just absolutely loved. And when I got a chance to get Art Germ to do this book, to sign this earlier this year, I jumped at it and I wanted to get it signed. I didn't. And what's funny is James Tynion has done local signings near me at Third Eye Comics down in Annapolis, Maryland. And I had other raw copies of this that I took with me to just get him to sign it, not thinking I'd ever be able to get Art Germ. And they didn't have a CGC witness. There was nothing like that. It was just raw copies I got signed. But I had additional copies of this. And luckily now I've gotten both artists. Actually, it's so busy I can't even see the autographs hardly. You can see, I believe that's Art Germ up there. But yeah, the James Tynion is right there. You can see it right there by my fingers. Let's see if we held the 9.8. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, what was nice was Tynion actually signed it in a red pen just like Art Germ did up here. It doesn't pop quite as much as I would like. It'd be nice if that was a nice bolder red, but isn't that beautiful? It's signed by Stanley Art Germ Lau on 6/12 of 23. So back in June, he signed this. And James Tynion signed this on 10/10/23. So that's awesome. This right here, it's a keeper book for me. It has special meaning to me. Like I said, this was my very first slab book that I ever bought. It wasn't for investment necessarily. I wasn't even thinking about it, but I was thinking about, I just absolutely love this cover. It made me love the character of Punchline. And hopefully there will be big things for her in the future. I don't know. It seems like all after Tynion left the Batman book, a lot of those characters have just fallen from by the wayside. I don't know. I doubt it will take other creators using Punchline and building her up, much like Harley Quinn did with multiple other artists over the years as well. So we'll see where that goes. But right now, this is just an absolute treasure for me personally. It's not a big investment book. In fact, I don't even know what the value on this is. I'm not really worried about it because this is going in my PC and I can keep it. But what a beautiful cover. Absolutely, I love that. But we got one more book here. And let me show you what this is. I don't know what the grade is, but it's not going to be that big a surprise because you know what? I actually did two of these. And I did this because I thought somebody else might want to have a copy of this. So I've got one of these for sale. You guys just reach out to me at collectorauctions@yahoo.com or DM me on Instagram if you are interested in owning a copy of this. I don't have a grade on this, but you can definitely reach out if you're interested. Just reach out to me and let me know. But I had sent two of these to Art Germ because in my mind, I figured at some point James Tynion was going to do another CGC signing, or I would eventually see him, hopefully at like Baltimore Comic-Con. That was what I thought was going to happen. Knowing that he's done those local signings at Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland, I figured that he was a surefire bet to eventually be at the Baltimore Comic-Con, especially this year. And he wasn't. But luckily he did another signing at CGC, so I was able to get both of the creators this year. So You can see his signatures right down here as well. Both the placements are very identical. So I've got 2 copies of this. One's for me, one's for you guys if you want it. So let's see. I probably should do the grade reveal first. Hopefully we kept a 9.8 on this one as well, because if it's not, then it's anything lower than that, it's definitely for sale. But you might get a real good bargain on it. So let's do it. Yes. Absolutely. I wasn't as worried about this, but I do have a lot of trepidation sending in a slab book. It's already got a great grade on it, and having them crack it open, and it's out of my hands. I can't even see it at this point. I'm putting a lot of faith and trust in the CGC, and I'm starting to have more and more trust in them. They have done, ever since I did this in person at Heroes Con this year, when I had them crack open a 9.8 book that Chris Claremont had signed, X-Men 213. I had him crack it open, and we added Alan Davis to that book, and then got that regraded and kept my 9.8. That was really, I was really nervous about that. But I've had done a handful of these where I've resubmitted a graded 9.8 book, and I got that book back, kept the grade. They've done a great job with it. I'm going to tell you, though, I had held back on a couple of books because the grade was too good on them, and I was afraid to send it in for an additional signature. And I've got a beautiful, I'm going to take a side track here for a second, guys. I've got a beautiful Wolverine #1, the miniseries, signed by Frank Miller. I've got a 9.8 on that, and I hadn't had a lot of experience sending in graded books and having them put a no signature on it at that point when they announced late this year the Chris Claremont signing at CGC. I would love to have sent that book in, but getting that 9.8 on that Wolverine #1 with a Frank Miller signature, I was really scared to send it in and have fear of that dropping down to a 9.6, something happening to it. Well, I will tell you this, if they have another Chris Claremont signing within the next year, hopefully, I will probably send in that Frank Miller signed Wolverine #1. So, I'm just saying, we've got a little bit of a history now of them doing a decent job of keeping the grade, taking care of the book while it's unslabbed, and then getting it regraded and reslabbed. Got a little bit of faith in that. But I'm super happy with this. Let me take a look at this one real quick, too. Yeah, both of them are pretty identical there. That red pen that Tinian used definitely doesn't pop. It's not quite as thick. It's got a little bit of opacity to it. Not quite as good. Let me zoom in. Can you see it there? You can't see it too well, but you can see the art germ up there in the corner too. But couldn't be happier to get these back. But it kind of brings us to the point of story. Why is this my last order to CGC? Well, I'm not being quite upfront about it. Yeah, it's my last order to CGC because for the first time in over 2 years, I don't have any books in Florida. This was the last order that I had in at CGC. Right now, I'm dry. I do not have any books in there. I've got plenty of books in the shop that some of them are prepped, kind of ready to go. Some of them are still waiting to get pressed. And I currently do not have any orders in the CGC. So when I say it's my last order, yeah, this is my last order that's in there right now. Right now, I have no orders in the queue. I have no orders getting ready to go out. So doesn't mean I'm not going to be sending something in the CGC again. It'll happen. But I slowed down a lot this year. I've done a lot of signature series orders with signings that they've been doing. When I say a lot, that still doesn't mean I even touched on how many. I didn't do anywhere near all of the signings that he has at CGC. I picked and chose some of the ones I really liked. And that really wasn't a lot overall. And I didn't have a lot of big orders where I was just getting universal blue grades, blue labels. I didn't do a lot of that this year. And part of that was just to cut back on the expense, and I've slowed the orders down. And at a point, was kind of getting a little upset with some of the grading on certain books. So I definitely felt like wanting to get the grading to a point where it felt like it was being more evenly graded, more fair, maybe, or more consistent. Maybe that's the way to put it, more consistent. So we'll get another order in again at some point, but for now, this was the last order I had in at CGC, and yeah, guys, I have no comics in Florida at the moment, so I don't know what to think about that for a second. It's the first time in over 2 years at this point, but I'm super happy to have the Batman 92 in my collection again with both of these signatures. It feels like I've mission accomplished on this, so couldn't be happier. You guys let me know what you think about these books. What do you think about this cover? It's one of my favorite covers from, I guess it's 2020, and big fan of Art Germ's covers. I had gotten several different things signed, but when I got both of these signed, I knew down the road I'd get James Tynion added to this, and now mission accomplished. Couldn't be happier. Again, just let me know what you think in the comment section, and if you're interested, definitely reach out to me at collectorauctions@yahoo.com, or again, DM me on Instagram. I will eventually have one of these listed on eBay and on my Shortbox page, but I will hold off until the video, this episode actually airs, and I will upload it to eBay and to Shortbox. I'll put that on there I'll put it on a week after the show airs. This show right here airs, and I'll give you guys a chance. If you want this book, you got to reach out to me, because within a week I'll put this back up on eBay, and don't want to knock over the display here, and give you guys a chance to make an offer before I put it up for sale. Okay, that's how we're going to do it. We'll see how that goes, but I'm out of here, guys. Short video for today. I hope you enjoyed this, and trust me, eventually, at some point, we will have another CGC unboxing. We will definitely have some Heritage Auction openings, unboxings continually, because I definitely still have some orders out there, and we'll continue to have some orders in the future. And we will continue down the road of exploring comics and the keys and things that I buy. And hopefully you enjoy this kind of content. I appreciate you guys being here, and realize I'm rambling. You guys, I'm doing this after work. It literally is 4 o'clock in the morning right here. I should be in bed, but I was too excited to get this opened up after I got back and had to do this show. So thank you for joining me. I'm out of here. I'm heading to bed. You guys have a great day, and remember, every comic has a story.